Whether if you're a conspiracy theorist or like psychological thrillers, surprisingly, this movie's for you. So grab what you need to have and let's go ahead and review Don't Worry, Darling.
Hello there, and good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and children.
Now, right off the bat, I really wanted to hate this movie. Full honesty there. Really wanted to hate this movie. And the only reason being is because, in truth and honesty, I don't really like Olivia Wilde. Obviously, there has been some dilemma going back and forth between the production in this film. Also, I don't really like Harry Styles either. Now, don't fret, my Harry Styles fans. It's not so much of his ability to sing, or in this case, in this movie, does a wonderful job at acting. It's just him as a person. Now, I don't know him, but obviously, him and Olivia Wilde shared some connections while production on this film. Now, again, there was a lot of drama leading to it. Of course, Shia LaBeouf, Lawrence Pugh, which, I mean, come on. Lawrence Pugh has done little to no, of course, advertisement for this film. And before you go into the fact of, well, you know, she's filming Dune, how many actors and actresses actually do go out to go ahead and advertise films that they're working on, or actually have done interviews during the other productions for the film to advertise the movies that are coming out with them in it? For a perfect example, of course, they could sit down for the interview, she could talk about Dune, but on the sideline, she can also answer questions about Don't Worry, Darling. We haven't really seen any of that from her. So obviously there's a lot of stir up and a lot of drama. Now, this film was directed by Olivia Wilde, and it is her second directorial movie that she's done, because the first one was Booksmart. I haven't seen that film, though this one is very much a setup to make her a very much serious director. Now, again, I came into this film wanting to hate it because of the fact of Olivia Wilde and then, of course, Harry Styles, but I have to give it up to them. Olivia Wilde does a wonderful job at directing this film, and Harry Styles, in all honesty, last time I saw him was in Dunkirk and thought he was great. In this movie, he's phenomenal. He does a wonderful job at keeping straight as far as a decent husband, as well as a crazy person too. So he does a wonderful job to it. The other thing that about this movie too is, if you know anything about Olivia Wilde, this movie is very much a man-hating type of film, where every man in this movie is the enemy. Now, with that, of course, take it as you leave it, because, you know, a lot of people are like, well, you know, stop looking into things. But if you actually know Olivia Wilde, that's kind of her thing, where she wants to have, you know, that kind of all men are evil type mentality to it, which is kind of sad that, you know, the world is leaning that way. But, you know, I digress. That's her thing. I'm not here to judge her, but this film showcases that, as well as, you know, if you are a conspiracy theorist, then you are going to hate this film or even love it at the same time. There's a little bit of it that has to deal with, of course, Freemasonry, the all-seeing eye, for an example, plugged in to, you know, we're working robots into the matrix, as they say. So if you're into that, if you like conspiracy and think it's fun, then obviously go see this movie. If you want to tear it apart and talk about conspiracy, please, it's a movie. So just go into it knowing that. But regardless, this movie is not what I kind of expected as far as the ending goes. Now, don't worry, this is a spoiler-free review, but it does set up for kind of like a mystery in a way. I didn't know where it was going, and when I thought I had to figure out, at the same time, I was like, okay, maybe it's not going this direction. And I was wrong. A lot of times when I do watch movies, as I've said in previous reviews, is I kind of anticipate on what's going to happen, or even the ending, to kind of like help solve the film and see where the director is going, or even the writers as well, which this was done by the Van Dykes, written, of course, as far as screenplay by the Van Dykes. Not sure if there's any relations to Dick Van Dyke, but I'm sure there is. I mean, there's not much of Van Dykes out there. So with that setup, with the writing and everything like that. It just made a very interesting movie, and one that hasn't really been done, but you could see elements of different films into this. So for an example, if you've seen The Circle with Tom Hanks as well as Emma Watson, there's similarities between that and this too, because of course you have Chris Pine, which, okay, step back, this acting or actors that they have here, Lawrence Pugh, Harry Styles, Olivia Wilde, you have Chris Pine, and then of course you have Nick Kroll in the film as well. They do a wonderful job. As far as Chris Pine goes as a psychological villain in this film, he does a great job, and I want to see more of that. He was spectacular on that part. Now as Harry Styles, like I said, wonderful job as well. And then Lawrence Pugh, broader A game as usual. But of course it follows the psychological of a woman being trapped in this society. You don't know, and I'm not going to give it away of how this society is built, but things start to happen and progress and makes her feel like she's crazy. People think that she's crazy, and it kind of just builds up all the way to the end. Now again, I didn't see the ending coming, but in today's world it was kind of expected in a way. The cinematography was pretty decent. As far as the coloration of everything, it really made you feel like you were in the 1950s a little bit too. There was a little nod to, of course, the Disney short films with the skeletons, the dancing skeletons in black and white, so that was great to see, and see a little throwback there. But it really made you feel that you were in this world, that you made you feel that you were in the 50s, so hats off to that. And like I said, the cinematography was okay. The screenplay itself was decent. It was definitely a movie that I can see myself just watching maybe once, or very seldom, like if I go show my wife. But it's not one that I will go back to and watch over and over again, because a lot of times with these movies, you already know what to anticipate. I mean, unless if you're somebody like in the theater, for an example, there was a lot of Harry Styles fans, as well as men who were seeing it with their wives or girlfriends. So that kind of tells you the type of demographic that it reaches, while I'm just sitting in the movie looking for a fun time. Now, don't get me wrong, it was a fun time, but unless if you're a Harry Styles fan or anything of that nature, you probably won't go back to it and watch it over and over and over again. But regardless, it was a solid film. It was a lot better than I anticipated. Hats off to Olivia Wilde, because respect is due. As well as hats off to everyone else who starred in it. I kind of wish I saw a little bit of Shia LaBeouf. Kind of wish that worked out, because I would like to see what he would have brought to, of course, Harry Styles' character, because if you guys don't know, Shia LaBeouf left, Harry Styles stepped in. So kind of wish that, saw that difference there. Kind of wanted to see what he would have brought. So if you guys seen it, let me know. Leave a comment down below, because would love to hear your thoughts on it. Did I miss something? How did you guys feel about it? Because, I mean, it is getting critiqued kind of harshly as far as critics go. I believe it's at 40-something on Rotten Tomatoes, though I don't really follow Rotten Tomatoes. But again, let me know. What did you guys think of it? I mean, did I just expect a fun time? Is there something I missed? Did you guys not like it? As well as follow us on all social platforms, because we love to see all you guys. Would like to interact with you guys as well, because of course we do other podcasts as well. I'm trying to make it as interactive as possible for you. So click the subscribe button, click that thumbs up button, share if you can, as well as visit the shop link down below, because all merchandise sold goes to the profits to, of course, bring you guys this stuff. So again, have a great night, and see you next time.